Time for the secret sauce. I promise you at the end of this video one thing that made all this wealth possible. I believe it's the one thing you're gonna have to have. Without it, you're in trouble. Hey friends, Kris Krohn here. Listen, you've heard me tell my story how I retired at the age of 26, and yet there's people out there that are skeptical. I get questions all the time, people saying, oh, that's not possible. I couldn't do the exact same thing. You got lucky, it was a fluke. Come on man, get real, get realistic with us. So today, I'm actually gonna take you to the place where it all started, and I've got something super special in store for you because I'm gonna blueprint and diagram out exactly how I created this wealth and how I've gone and done it over 3,000 more times. So for you skeptics that are out there, I'm making this video for you. It is crazy day here at the Krohn household because I got 4 kids in elementary school. We're underway, they're about to get on the bus, and they're doing their last day of school, but today might be the first day of real school for you on actually learning something that really matters in the world of finance, because we're gonna get in my car and we're gonna take a journey, and I'm gonna share with you exactly how that wealth got created. Hey, love you kids. Have a good, awesome last day of school. You guys pumped? Are you guys excited? Huh? Are you excited for last day of school?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
High five, Dan.
Happy and sad.
You skeptics, I've got something in store for you. There's always got to be someone asking the question and wondering, is this real? Does this actually work? If I don't unlock it, I can't remove the electrical cord. Dude, seriously, I get it. There is so much pain on this conversation of money because so many of us know what it's like to not have any. But you know what? That's actually what gave birth to Kris Krohn, the Financially Free. I declared my Freedom Day after like my deepest source of pain. What I want to do right now is I am taking you out to the very first property where it all happened. Because I got people that are like, dude, Kris, you bought that property with $40,000 of equity. Dude, there's no way that you can duplicate that. And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know, I've only duplicated it thousands of times and helped thousands of people do it. But you know what, there needs to be skeptics out there. You know, I read some of the comments on one of my recent videos and I thought, you know, there needs to be people out there that doesn't believe what I do is possible because it's what makes it possible, or else everyone would be doing it. The people that are really gonna make it happen, you've gotta probably have some kind of pain that motivates you. Because if you're not motivated, especially if you're one of those millennials out there, dude, I get it. You're in a day and age where there's so much technological advancement. If you just wait 5 seconds, some brand new thing's gonna hit and happen. But the people that are out there creating wealth, there is a system and there's a strategy, but most people don't actually know how to tap into it because they don't even know what it is. For me, my super, super deep moment of pain, from which could have stemmed deep skepticism, but instead turned into great wealth, was this painful moment where I came home, I was newly married, and I literally, my wife was in tears because she didn't have the ability to go shopping that day and actually buy groceries. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget the way I felt because it was such a nasty, horrible, visceral feeling. It was like this sick feeling in my gut, and I felt about this big as a man. And that pain was all I needed. Now, when you experience pain like that, you do one of two things. You either give into it and you become super small in life, or you use it to actually fuel your motivation and your dreams and do whatever it takes to get where you gotta go. And that's exactly what I did. So if I'm special in any way, it's not because of my knowledge of real estate. It's that I actually had the courage to act because I had a big enough reason why. Okay, friends, we're getting closer to the house now. I'm gonna show you exactly how I created that wealth, but at the end of this video, what I really wanna do is I wanna share with you the singular secret that made all this possible. It is hands down, without this one thing, none of this wealth would have been created. This whole idea of within 4 years becoming financially free, I mean, understand that that was 12 years ago now. So for the last 12 years, I have been driving whatever car I want. I've been traveling, like right now I'm on my way to Cambodia and Vietnam. right after my reunion in Washington, and then I actually go to Amsterdam. So I'm doing world travel with me and my wife and my family and my loved ones. Like in Cambodia, I'm literally bringing 40 close buddies and friends with me. You know, I've been living now 11 years in a 10,000 square foot house that I designed. And I look at the fact that how my business has grown and just everything that's changed. And it all started from this one deal and the information that I'm going to be sharing with you today. Now I have to give the skeptic something, because there will be always several comments that essentially say, dude, you make it sound too easy. Why don't you be more honest? It's harder than it actually is. And you know, actually I have to give you guys some credit, because the reality is what I do, super hard. Like hands down, this stuff is not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. But here's the crazy part. What I do is not a function of time. It's not a function of strength. Frankly, it's the function of a little bit of knowledge and then the willingness to take action. Because the deals that I'm finding right now, the deals that could set you financially free, I've done 3,500 of them in the last 10 years. 3,500 deals across the country. And that's what I actually offer people when they work with me, is I say, hey, be part of my team, borrow my team, and we'll do it with you. And so I do want to tell you that it is absolutely hard. But I'll never forget DuckTales growing up. If anyone, I'm 38, so if you're part of my generation, DuckTales was kind of like an after school deal. And I love DuckTales, and I'll never forget Scrooge McCranky Duck saying, you need to learn to work smarter, not harder. And that's what I figured out how to do in real estate. What I'm gonna show you here, dude, when I actually say that this is easy for me, it's easy because I actually have a system now that I rely on. I also have a team that I extend to people all over the country. You know how many of our YouTube friends, some of you that are actually watching these videos, that are actually out there engaging and using the system and buying properties with me? It's available. So in life, there's absolutely hard money and there's absolutely easy money. For example, if you're doing real estate investing and your deal's making you 5% a year, dude, you are making some of the riskiest and hardest money out there. On my deals, I'm usually floating over 20%, sometimes over 30% annual ROI. So just for a moment, like imagine putting $1 into something that the next year it was worth $1.20 or $1.30. And then imagine that it compounded, and then after 2, 3, 4 years, imagine that it doubled and that it kept on compounding, and it kept on growing. And imagine that you didn't even have to use your money to do it. So like, yeah, what I do absolutely takes knowledge. You need a system. And it does take courage, but guess what? It works. So for any of you that want to say, dude, it's hard, I want to say, yes, but it's worthwhile. For any of you that want to say, it's not possible, you got lucky, I want to say, thank you, because you're the one that makes it possible for me and the thousands of investors and YouTube fans that I work with to actually make this possible. Because we need people like you to look at us and be like, dude, that's horse crap. There's no way that that's real. I'm like, thank you, thank you. Thank you. If everyone believed it was, then we'd probably have to scope out a new corner and find a new way to do a new something. Oh my gosh, dude. Here it is, dude. This is a total, like, look at this. Dude, this whole area is so different. I love real estate. This place is hardly recognizable. This is wild. Check it out. It's just right up here on the corner. This cute little red brick house right here. Boom. This is what started the whole crazy journey. Wow. You know, what's so weird about this is that when I actually moved into this house, my wife and I, we were so mentally poor. So it is so weird, because right now I'm feeling this energy of what it was like for us to learn how to become abundant. This is the place where we got out of debt. This is the house where we started. You know, we lived in this house up until we had a net worth of almost $150,000. It was just 2 short years. Man, crazy. Dude, so there is so much history on this house. Now, here's what you're not maybe seeing. You see these little windows that are in the window wells? This tiny little guy has a basement apartment. And this is about 5 blocks from BYU campus. And so when I was going to college here, and my mentor told me that I needed to get into real estate and that was how I was going to create financial freedom, and he had made his 10 million that way. He said, Kris, you need 3 things. You basically keep your nose clean for 14 more months and then you'll have a 2-year work history. He said, make sure that you keep your credit good, but you need to get a couple more credit cards and show the banks that you can use it. And then the last thing you need to do is you got to find a way to scrounge up $5,000 for a small down payment. And it took me 14 months. And literally in the 14 month, I had just finished. I worked about 10 minutes from here, and I lived way over here, and I just felt this strange impression that I should drive home a weird way. And so it was weird because it was a day, roughly this time of year, late spring, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky, but it was snowing sideways. And I did a U-turn with my car because I saw a for sale by owner sign right here in the yard. And so I got out. I was so nervous. I was driving my tiny 1993 red Honda Civic. And I got out of my car and I grabbed a pen and paper. I tried to act official. I had been working with my mentor and he had been training me, but he wasn't with me. I was just having a spontaneous moment of courage. And I knocked on the door and this grouchy old woman said, what do you want? And I said, well, now mind you, I'm really, really young, 23, and I got a baby face. I still look like I haven't hit puberty yet. And so I try to sound as official as possible, and I tell her that I want to buy her house, and the price tag on the sign said $110,000. And from my training with my mentor, I already knew something was off. I knew that it had to be more than that, but I decided to ask her for 100 grand. And this grouchy old woman said, no, it's 110. And I didn't know what to say, so I said, well, can you show me the house? So we walked in, she showed me the house, saw it had a basement apartment. Long story short, when I ran the numbers on this with my mentor, this house was worth $150,000. So buying it at $110,000 was a really good deal. That's a $40,000 of equity. And I'll tell you in a moment why that was important. But what that also meant was that I was buying a house with a lower price, a lower mortgage, and a basement that would pretty much pay my mortgage. So whatever was left, what my wife and I had to pay moving into a house was actually way, way, way less than what we actually paid renting a small apartment. So this is the house that started it all. Now, for some of you that are out there and like, well, dude, Kris, you show me how to get a home with $40,000 of equity. Those deals are along in your backyard every day. The deal of the decade comes along every day, but you first have to believe that it's there. Then you got to get some training so you know what you're actually doing, which is why you need to subscribe and be part of this channel, because I'm teaching you as much as I can in these short little videos so that you can get that training. In fact, you haven't done that yet. You got to subscribe, ring the bell right now, because I'm going to teach you the mindset and the skill set of how you do deals like this one right here. Now, by the way, knowing what I know today, I would have bought this house without a bank, without a down payment, and without even using any money. That's just what I knew how to do in the beginning. Now, the reason why this house was so important for me was because that $40,000 of equity, a year later I was able to go to the bank and I said, all right, bank, I want to take some of this equity and I want to use it to buy another house. And they gave me what's called a home equity line of credit. And that home equity line of credit of $18,000 was enough for my down payment on a house about 12 minutes from here in a city called Pleasant Grove. Now, by the way, for those of you that are like, dude, you couldn't duplicate that. That house I bought in Pleasant Grove, I got it for $150,000. But guess what? That house was worth over $200,000. So I did it again. And that one, it was a nicer house than this one. It was 3,000 square feet, but I didn't move into it because it wasn't for me. It was an investment. I wanted it to work for me. That house in Pleasant Grove, guess what? I put tenants in it. I did a lease option. You need to watch some of my videos. I'll recommend it at the end of this for my lease option course. And I'll teach you actually so much about how to do a lease option right here. But that lease option, those people gave me $3,000 and I had a cash flow of $600 a month. So between these two houses, I had a net worth of now $100,000. I refinanced this one, so I was living in it for free. That house in Pleasant Grove was paying me $600 a month. Let me ask you, because by the way, you can do this. Some of you are like, dude, it's too hard. I'm like, but it's worthwhile. It's worth learning. And I'll share with you the big secret at the end that will make it all work for you, that will make it all easy. Because by the way, I love making hard things easy. What my team does is hard, but I'm like Scrooge McDuck. Work smarter, not harder. I have them doing it for me. So that house is getting paid $600 a month in my pocket, mailbox money. This one I'm living in for free. If you could eliminate your debts like that, that $600 a month, do you know what that meant for me and my wife? I remember we were sitting in the back corner. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs. We were sitting in the back corner. We didn't have kids at the time. We had 2 cats. It was an office. And in that office, I remember the 3rd month of owning that house, my wife's like, dude, Kris, every month there's this $600 left over when I'm done paying the mortgage. What should I do with it? And I'm like, I don't know, get us out of debt, pay down our Sinclair credit card. And after the 3rd month of doing that, she came to me and she said, Kris, do you know that instead of going into debt for the first time, we're getting out of debt because we don't have a rental payment anymore? And we're getting that extra $600, that's like an extra $1,000 a month. Our credit card debt, we eliminated it in months as opposed to who knows how long it would have taken. So all of that happened because this journey started here. Now, by the way, I did it twice, and I want to ask you a question. If it worked the first time and it worked the second time, what would you do next? You do it again. How often? Over and over and over again. So my wife and I sat down and we were in the living room right here on the ground, and I'll never forget, there was this moment that changed everything when we said, how many houses do we need to be free? And we said, you know what? Let's shoot for the stars. $10,000, which by the way, to us, $10,000 a month of residual income was like, we might as well have been multimillionaires. Like, it just was an insane amount of money. But that's where we set that goal. 25 homes later, 4.5 years later, I'm graduating from university in a degree that has almost no value in the world, 25 homes producing me $12,000 a month, and then I quit my job. So what I did is something that is happening on a regular daily basis. I'd even go so far as to say every day someone is following the path of creating wealth in real estate. But what I want to do is I want to share with you the secret that actually makes it all possible. Come with me. Time for the secret sauce. I promise you at the end of this video, one thing that made all this wealth possible, I believe it's the one thing you're gonna have to have. Without it, you're in trouble. Okay. So here's the deal. That first deal, it didn't just happen with me having a random idea, oh, I wonder if I could make money in real estate. It wasn't because I read a book in real estate. Yes, there was this intuition of driving by and saying, oh my gosh, I believe this is the house. While those are all kind of part of what made it happen, it would be remiss for me to leave out the most important element. You have got to have a mentor. And a mentor, it's more than just watching this video. It's more than being a subscriber, and it's more than reading my books. Those are all really good things, but that's what curious people do. That's what interested people do, but that is not what committed people do. So yes, read the books. Yes, get with me and come out to my event. That's a great show of commitment. But at the end of the day, if you actually want to tear it up in real estate, you have to have a mentor. I would have never bought that house by just reading a book. I bought it because I had someone that I could talk to. I could show them the house. They could help me crunch the numbers. They helped me do the CMA. They helped me learn all this weird jargon that I couldn't even understand. And then they helped me know that it was a good deal. And I pulled the trigger on it. Yes, it was a moment of courage that made it all happen. If I didn't have someone giving me confidence, I wouldn't have done it. That second house I bought, same thing. A mentor showed me how to find the deal. I did the work, I did the hard stuff, I got the deal, but I leveraged a team. A mentor showed me how to do a lease option on that house, and eventually on that first house that I just showed you that took my cash flow through the roof and gave me non-refundable down payments. All of that eliminated debt and then built wealth. All of that built confidence. All of that built excitement. All of it happened because I had a mentor. So right now, yes, subscribe, watch these videos, go on a journey with me to learn. Just make sure you understand that those are good, interested things to do. When you really say to yourself, you know what, I got to get committed. If I want what Kris has, then I need a mentor like Kris. And I want to tell you that I've thought of you. I don't have the ability to be your one-on-one mentor. Frankly, you can't afford me. I'd be too expensive. But what I have done is I've built a community where I can work with you in a group setting, an intimate setting, where I can get you the training, you can work with me, you can work with Stephen Miller, you can work with my team, and I'll take you to the best deals around the country, and we can make this happen together. But the reason why I can offer that to you is because I understand the power of leverage. I know you need a mentor, but mentoring with me comes with 200 other hands on deck that understand that you're a newbie, you're brand new, you're coming in with some basic level of education, and what you need is some severe hand-holding.
Because we understand that, I've put all that together for you. If you want to know what that looks like, I want to invite you to go check out my website where you can read the different options of how you can mentor directly with me and my team in our group team settings so that no matter where you live, we can go out there and show you how to do the same kind of deals. You don't have to watch this video and comment below as one of the skeptics saying, yay for you, Kris, you got lucky. No, the last 3,500 deals is not luck, my friends. It's leverage, it's a team, it's a system, and it's because I've had mentors. I'm ready to be that mentor for you. I just got to make sure that you're ready to go from a state of interest to full commitment. If you want to know what that looks like, here's the test. Go over to the website, check the link in the description below, see what we're offering, see what we're doing, and then talk to someone on my team. That's really what you're doing is you're submitting your information saying, I need to understand this better. Let me talk to someone on your team. My team will ultimately vet you and find out whether we're a good match for each other. Because if we are, I got good news for you. We're going to go out there and make some deals happen.